Hi, I'm the Rifter, and this is a tutorial on how to lay 2 1/4 inch wide, 3/4 inch high wood floor. What you're going to need for this, you're going to need a hammer for sure. You're going to need a piece of your wood flooring that you can not focus on. A piece of your wood flooring that you can sacrifice because you're going to have to tap it in. A floor nailer. You definitely want a pneumatic one. Don't go for a manual one. It's extremely hard to nail these things in. You're going to need a compressor, which it's down there. Go to your local hardware store, tell them you need a compressor. And you're going to need one of these to hit the white spot on that floor nailer, which I'll show you here in a few minutes. You're also going to want to need some staples for the floor nailer. And you're also going to need a brad nailer. You're also going to need a brad nailer. Now this really is, well, not only if you're doing one room. We're doing a single room, but this is to fasten it right in the corner where, or right along the side of the room where the floor nailer actually won't go. But you only have to do that for the first 3 rows on 2 1/4 inch wide because of this piece. This is what you're actually going to hit with the mallet. So the first thing you're going to want to do when doing a floor is make sure your subfloor is good. And then you're going to want to put down a vapor barrier, which that's what this black piece is. We use tar paper because vapor barrier is expensive, and this is the way they used to do it way back in the day. You can pick a roll of tar paper up for about $15 or $20 and it'll do 432 square feet. That's 15 weight, so it's relatively easy and relatively inexpensive. This is the 2 1/4 inch wood flooring. Now we've already started laying it down over here earlier, so can't really show you very well. Those little gray pieces, those are the brad nails that you had to start against the wall. You'll use the brad nailer right here in the tongue. That's the tongue right there. So you should probably always wear eye protection and gloves that I'm putting on wrong to start. It's a good idea. Another important thing when you're laying down floor, you want to leave about 3/8 of an inch to a 1/2 inch around the outside of the room. Maybe a little less than a 1/2 inch, but at least 3/8 of an inch right here along the edge of the room. That is your expansion gap, and you really only need to leave enough to where your baseboard is going to cover it, and then your shoe mold or your quarter round, whatever you're going to put on there. All right, well this one's not nailed in yet, but you take your sacrificial piece here, put it about 1 foot out from the edge, and you're going to want to nail that in until these little seams close up and are nice and tight. Then you're going to bring your floor nailer over about 1 inch out from the side. And again, I know somebody's going to watch this video and be like, well, that's not the way you lay down a floor. Well, guess what? You put out a tutorial video. This is how we're laying the floor because it's just how you're supposed to do it. At least from everything I've seen and learned about. But you've got this little angled piece, line it up with that tongue, get about 1 inch out from the side, and you're just going to nail it in. and then work your sacrificial piece here down the line where this crack is open. And I put them about every foot. Now sometimes this is going to want to pop up on you. If it does, step on it. Make it go back down. See, I hit that and that little joint came back in. And now you hit this thing a little bit harder than you think. I made the mistake of not hitting it hard enough earlier, and it kind of crapped out on me. It didn't really nail down. There we go. That's definitely in there. So another important thing you're going to want to look for is where this piece ends. You don't want another seam right next to it. It doesn't matter if this one's close, but the one right next to it, you're going to have bad times if you do that. It just creates a weak spot in the floor. We've already just pre-laid these out so we know where we need to be at. And this little piece is trying to pop up on me, so put a little pressure on it. So at a certain point, you will no longer be able to use your floor nailer because you won't be able to hit it with the mallet. You'll be a little bit too close to the wall. So that's why you need the brad nailer. Always remember to oil your tools before you use them. So, just like last time, make sure their joints are tight. What you're going to want to do is angle this down and shoot through the tongue. Now this is the pain in the butt part because you pretty much have to get on your knees at this point and just keep going. And then some of these nails won't go in all the way and you have to use a punch to drive them the rest of the way in. That's pretty much all there is to that part. Once you get right up against the wall and you can't angle them anymore, you're gonna have to go straight down through the top of them. Just make sure you do it where the baseboard's gonna cover it. That way, you know, you're not gonna have a bunch of nail heads sticking up. But they are brad nails, so it's a tiny, tiny head. They're finish nails in a brad nail gun. But I'll post some pictures in this video when we're done with the floor, which shouldn't be more than, I don't know, probably an hour. Alright, so there's one other part you may have problems with. Getting these pieces tight against there when you're so close to the wall. There's no secret to this other than the fact that you're probably gonna have to cut a small piece of a small piece of groove. Find a stud in the wall. Put it on right in front of the stud. I can tell the stud's right there because that's where the nail holding the drywall on is. Put your crap piece there. And there's literally no secret to this. It's just lining everything up and tapping it in. But you're going to tap this end of your pry bar and lock that in. That's all there is to it. Anyway, thank you for watching. It's how you install a floor. Try not to screw it up. Bye.